art nerds, and welcome to episode number 6 of the Clique. This is our monthly online art show brought to you by Visioncon, Clever Kaiju, and Playco Games. I'm your host, Deanna. I am a volunteer staff member for Visioncon, and I'm co-owner of Playco Games. And I am co-hosting tonight with Mr. Gary Bedell from Clever Kaiju.
Hello, everyone.
Let me see. All right, this month we have got 9 gorgeous pieces of art, 8 artists that drew them, and 1 special guest artist who we haven't seen in a while, and we're very happy to have him back. So I'm going to go around and call everyone out. Then we will get to the art. I should know this by now. This is episode number 6. I'm still my notes and confused. All right.
It is okay. It has been a long week for everyone. It is all right.
Yeah.
We all just survived 2020. So it's okay to mess up one.
Did we, Gary? Are you sure about
Wait, did you say only mess up once? All right. Well, first of all, tonight you've met Gary. I've introduced myself. We've also got Miss Haley Codling.
Hello.
We have got Nate Howard, who is muted. We've got Darrow Klotch. Eric E. Danger Wright.
Hey guys.
And James Rutherford. Caitlin Blaine.
Hello.
Brand new to the Clique tonight, we have Chet Smith.
New blood.
Oh, hi.
Alec, I'll take swords for 400.
And then joining us once again, Mr. David Fott, who's been gone for a couple of months, and we are thrilled to have him back tonight.
Hey guys, it's good to be back.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Now, David did not draw tonight. He's just here for commentary. But he's better
Oh
be
Lord,
nice.
no! I'm just here to say hey.
You better be nice because you're drawing next month, correct?
Yes, I will be back next month in full glory. I guess you'd say. Is that the word? I don't know, but yeah, I'll have art next month.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, well, let me see. For anybody that's new, here's how the Clique works. The beginning of the month, we ask for suggestions on a topic. The second week, we vote on the suggestions, and the top suggestion is what becomes our topic for the month. This month was Baby Makes 3. We wanted a character that our artists were going to draw the children of the character of the chosen, plus multiple other characters of their choice. Each one picked one. They didn't draw a bunch. We're supposed to draw a bunch of art. Sorry. Hope I didn't scare anybody. So Swamp Thing was the one that won. We had Otachi, I think, Betty Boop. Do you remember who else?
I think one was Betty White, but nobody did Betty White. No.
No, we didn't do that one.
Shame.
I thought very heavily about it.
Let me see.
But I thought Gary was going to do it for sure, so I didn't touch it.
Oh, here we go. I have 2 monitors, and I have to hide it, or else I can see both feeds. So we just had Vic from Legend, Mr. Mitzelplick, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Firestorm, Swamp Thing, Otachi from Pacific Rim, and Betty Boop. And Swamp Thing was a big winner. He got to date 10 different people, and tonight we are going to see the children of that matchup.
We're going to see everyone that Swamp Thing swiped right on.
Exactly.
The result of, yeah.
Time his finger kept slipping. He's just covered in
It was Valentine's Day last year, and this is what happened. So, without further ado, I believe, James, we're going to start with you tonight.
All right.
Oh, would you like to, you can, and tell us a little bit about yourself if you'd like, what you're up to, and
Been working too much. I pulled a couple of 24 hours, so. Yeah, it sucks when you do that. But anyhow, I did change my Instagram. It's now J Rutherford Art at Instagram. It's no longer the funny Japanese name that no one can spell or say. I figured it was a little bit easier to remember. So, and
I'm
there's
glad you
the
just said that because I was about to share your links.
so it's now J. Rutherford Art.
J. Rutherford Art. Okay.
Yeah. So I apologize for not sending that forward.
Good call, because the rest of us, we don't know what we're doing.
No.
Cool.
Oh my.
Oh.
So I had the cheetah from Wonder Woman with Swamp Thing.
Oh.
Oh, that's sweet, dude.
I am not.
Dig it.
I love that pose.
Yeah.
Good pose. Man, those lips.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, what?
So I just kind of started taking features. You know, Swamp Thing's got all the bushes and tree limbs and stuff. I kind of did the cheetah mouth with the Swamp Thing mouth on there at the same time.
And the brow too. I like that. That you kind of gave her like the
I understand.
kind of the brow there. That's nice.
Yeah.
That is cool. I like the bark pauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Words.
I'm just thinking this would make great camouflage.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect. It's a nat. It's like, you know, if she wasn't already an incredible hunter to begin with, you know.
So yeah, I mean it's a little busy because there's not much color there, but you know, it's if I had a little more time, I'd do some coloring on it.
You're not lost in it though. Like it's not too.
No.
No.
Well, right in this area, we start to get, you know, you got the hand, the foot, the leg. It all starts to kind of blend in together with the line art, but
Good hands, good feet.
Yeah.
I
Excellent.
love her shoulders. I didn't see that till you zoomed in.
with the kind of the wooden.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I want to kind of have like she's still got the fur, but the wood starts coming through the vines on her hip too. Got the vines on the legs.
I feel like texture is pretty hard without color, but you did a real good job of
Yeah.
everything really
Oh.
like
Most of it's just implied for with line.
Yeah, your line work's beautiful.
Very clean.
I like that you captured the like you've got her face like a humanoid face, like a female face, right? But I like the extra that you put in her brow, which is a very strong Swamp Thing characteristic.
Yeah, I said
And I
that.
don't know if
Yeah.
that was just because of the markings of her face, but like the way his face kind of goes flush, like goes flat, and then these really like dynamic lines from the edge of his nose down her, like you still kind of captured that flush look of his face and that heavy brow.
Yeah, it was real tempting because you know he's got that very distinctive from the nose point,
Right.
that brow point that comes down. It's almost like a hood on top of the nose.
Right. It's like a
And I didn't want to do that because there, you know, it could get lost in like her markings, which I didn't do the traditional markings that you would put on her, you know, down the sides and darken the eyes. But I did give her that kind of brow up top.
I can't imagine anything mixed with Swamp Thing is gonna be terribly beautiful. So it all
Right. I like that you did that pose too, because that's not an easy pose to do.
right.
You know, like I love that you went for a pose like that. So that's just great. And of course the line works amazing. And you used the pencil brush, correct? For that?
Yeah, this is that pencil brush.
Great brush strokes, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so much easier to ink digitally. If I had to do this by hand, I'd have ink smears everywhere. I don't have the patience for traditional.
Just keep a fan going the whole time.
I want it to dry quicker, and I've tried it, and it's like, oh, look, that's dry smear, son of a. So, yeah, so there's my blending.
Feels really dynamic.
Yeah.
What did you have any other ideas and concepts for this before you chose this one, and why did you choose the design you have now, if you did?
Choose the character or the way that I went about it?
Both.
I just watched Wonder Woman 1984, so that was an influence there when I saw her on the list. I was like, okay, that'll be fine.
That'll do.
Yeah, there we go. But I didn't want to take away. You know, you look at a lot of Swamp Thing images, and he's coated. He's just dripping in the leaves and the foliage and the bark and stuff.
Right.
But I didn't want to go to the point where you would lose the feminine features completely in that. Plus, you think as a cheetah, you don't want to lose that make it too cumbersome.
Right.
So I figured, well, maybe we can blend it in, like in the arms. We could take some of that. It blends in, so now it's not just there; it's actually, armor almost, with her for protection against, whatever. And it's kind of like I was thinking too. It's like if she's out in the woods, cheetah, the spots are meant for camouflage. So I figured her, the Swamp Thing deck elements too should be able to go into camouflage as well.
It's brave of you to put mushrooms on her. I wouldn't imagine that, most people, let alone, would let mushrooms grow on them like that. If I were her, I'd be like, nope. I also hate mushrooms though.
They're either fast growing mushrooms or very slow cheetah.
Like
Yeah, she's got 2 mushrooms. I was like, I was thinking of something else other than just leaves to add.
Nice touch.
yeah.
Yeah, this is really, really good, man. I'm glad that you decided to show this, man. And
Yeah.
go on and talk about it. Yeah, this is great. And of course, like I love the way you use your line weight too. Really, really cool stuff, man. Like you get how it works. I mean, I tell you that all the time, but it's really great stuff.
His weapon of choice.
Yeah, brush strokes are awesome. Always on point.
Yeah.
Whenever you were working on this, did you have all the pins from the puns from Batman and Robin going through your head? All the one-liners they gave to Poison Ivy.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that. No.
Whenever I
Oh,
saw
no.
that you chose it in an email, the first thing that came to mind was "Great set of stems."
No, I haven't.
None of those.
I haven't seen those movies in a while, so they're not that fresh in my brain to actually pull some of it.
I have to
All I can think of are all the bad Mr. Freeze jokes.
ask you, James. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the new Wonder Woman movie?
I was a little disappointed in it. The story
I talk
overall.
about the new Wonder Woman movie. I was very hurt.
Yeah.
I think the overall story was poor. Everything else was nice and cool, special effects, everything, but I think the overall story was lacking.
Did it bother anyone else that she and Steve Trevor were pretty much gang raping that strange guy?
Yeah,
No.
like he
I've
was
watched this movie.
Dude, I don't even want to know. I haven't even seen the movie. I don't even want to know.
Spoilers, yeah.
There's a lot
I'm
of
not worried about spoilers. I've had my time.
No, you can spoil the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay, well, it's not the way I made it sound.
No,
It was kind of.
Someone watching may not have seen it, so I don't want to go too much into it.
Good point. But if anybody, the one thing that made me happy, stay till the after credit.
Yes.
When it was
Yeah.
over.
I teared up, man. Oh,
Uh,
so excited. That's
do
the
you
only
guys? Do you want me to jump into Anna's while I'm still displaying, or do you want to come back to her?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do Anna's.
Yeah.
Anna Rutherford couldn't join us tonight, but James is presenting her gorgeous art that she shared.
Okay, so this is Anna's.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Aw.
Can you do it in her voice?
No, I can try, but I can't adjust the pitch, or I'll just lose my voice. So she did give me a little note card, and I'll just go over.
No way. That's
So this is the love child of Swamp Thing and Sailor Jupiter. And Anna loves to draw the Sailor Scout. She's really likes the stories and everything. And so she had her concept art. She wanted to pull from the original early
oh, wow.
concept art for her character design.
I had no idea.
So
Those poor legs.
This artist, I mean, she really draws some super long legs on all of her characters.
You can tell she has a background in fashion or is like interested in fashion because
Yeah.
when people do their fashion design, they usually draw super long limbs and stuff.
So she says her version of Swamp Thing that she used was the animated version. So she was going off that animated, the Warner Brothers style, very simplistic line animated version. And the vines all over her body, the design, the gloves and the boots are all based on Swamp Thing, along with the collar up here. And her sailor suit, she used the earlier concepts from Sailor Jupiter, which I just showed. And she didn't give her the goggles because it gave her this, because he gave her the leaf-like eyelashes. Let me zoom in on those.
Nice.
So that they're more like leaves for the eyelashes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, I get that's cool.
Yeah.
yeah. Anna always does a good job at making me like interested in a character. Like she always puts character.
Those
So
eyes
she
look
didn't want to use the
magical.
goggles because she was worried that it would take away from the actual leaf effect that she was going for.
Yeah.
And
Did she not have time to color?
no, she's got school and work and
Shame.
a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. I really like
she's-
the color work, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, she likes using her pen, so it takes her a little bit longer than it does us when we're doing digital work.
Right.
So she draws it, scans it, inks it, and then goes in with the Copics and then does her touch-ups. And the Copics take a while because you got to wait for them to dry, and
yeah.
so it's a long process.
No, we completely understand. I just know that with her color style in the past, like I bet this would be really cool.
She says that she really enjoys creating the Sailor Moon characters, and this is one that she will finish at a later date. So it will be colored at some point.
Very cool.
You know,
And
I
then-
think we're gonna have to do an episode next year where you guys bring back all the stuff you keep saying. I want to keep working on this.
It could be a reboot, like the first episode could be like a recap, and we can show what we've done.
That would be pretty cool.
Oh, geez.
Hey, if you're out there watching, let us know what you think in the comments about that. Or what would you like to see for season 2?
Yeah. So just to give Anna a quick plug, since she's not here, she's got her DeviantArt page, her Tumblr, and her Pinterest.
And James, how do you pronounce that?
I think it's I'm probably butchering it.
I think it's Aoi Ryu.
Yeah, something like that.
She sent with the very first episode. She sent me the pronunciation, and I haven't said it since then. So I don't remember exactly.
I'll just get really close for those that are interested. They could really get in on there.
Well, and anybody watching this on Facebook, the links are all in the chat. So if you look it up on Facebook, you can link directly over to her.
And I will
If it's
say,
on YouTube, the links will be below. So
I will say this too. You know, working traditionally it's not easy. You know, like even though yes, we do kind of have shortcuts with digital, like you know, working traditionally like this and then going through the process of the coloring and stuff. I mean, that's a lot of labor. So even just drawing this and doing this traditionally, I really dig it, man.
So she used the new Adobe Scan It art for the cell phone on this one, and I was shocked.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't realize it was there, but yeah, it's like it scans it using it and does like some corrections so that the line art and everything gets changed. So
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't bumped it. I didn't even know the app existed till she showed it to me.
What's
Huh.
that?
The Adobe Scan.
Adobe Scan.
Yeah.
One scribble that down.
I know. Everyone's like, ooh.
Ooh.
But that's what she used, and I think it came out great.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
You know, I mean, this would be ready if it was me. I just switch it to black and white mode, readjust, and start coloring.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think it did a really good job, and you don't get a lot of those. You know, when you do a traditional scan, if you zoom in, you get a lot of that rainbow colored dithering
Yes.
along the edges, and I'm not really seeing that. So
Yeah, that's fine.
Woohoo!
Good job, Anna.
You look sexy when you go up and down her.
all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and then you guys have questions or whatnot. I'll try to answer them as best I can for her.
Yeah, I see there's a few of you watching live. Please comment, ask questions, just say hey. Like earlier, Stephanie Beatty said hi, so hi, belated Stephanie. And Haley Codling said hello.
I'm trying to be polite. For the
Okay,
people.
who's next? Eric, would you like to go next?
I will go next.
I don't know why I asked.
He's like, I guess.
I will go now.
This
Behold.
month you had Beast Boy, didn't you?
I had the best Teen Titan, Beast Boy.
Good job. Thank you.
So,
What made you pick him? Just because he's the best Teen Titan?
yeah.
Oh, Kyle Smith, Krista Purrier, and David Stanfield say hi, everyone. Let's say hi to those guys. What's up, guys?
Hi,
Thank you for being here.
And hi, Kimberly.
Hello, Kimberly.
I like it when you guys speak up. We feel loved.
Not just the void we're talking to anymore.
And there we go.
Eric on the computer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
You chose Beast Boy just so you could choose any animal you wanted.
I
Yeah, it's true.
would not have gathered this was Beast Boy. At least
No.
colored it.
Dude, I don't even care.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So you, Swamp Thing and the T-Rex of Jurassic Park got it on. Like, I like the little rare.
That works.
Yes. Oh my god.
That's crazy line work, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
By
that's
that
nice.
tail. I
Yeah.
want to see that tail closer.
Yeah. I like how it kind of unspools near the end.
His leg looks like
The,
he's
the
made of
squirrel.
hide.
Did you
Oh,
see the
yeah.
squirrel?
Hang on.
That's awesome.
There's a turtle in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Turtle.
Oh, you're
Oh,
gonna
there's
have
the
to
turtle.
take us all through this.
There we go.
The level of detail.
Yeah, on his
Yeah.
collar. You're right. He looks so happy. A little squirrel mixed in there. Oh. And a frog.
There's a bullfrog.
Is that a frog?
That stuff.
Yeah, there's a frog up there.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
This is cool.
So,
I love the tail.
thank
Oh, I
you.
see him now.
In it.
Well, at least now he has longer hands so he can reach out to
Exactly.
Oh, that's pretty cool. The tail isn't actually solid. It's actually, it unravels towards the tip. There's nothing.
Yeah,
That is a cool.
that's awesome.
What was your thought process with like the design of this here? I'm trying to figure out what you guys are thinking or what your creative process is like.
So the first idea, I kind of wanted to just do the most exciting version of Beast Boy. So I chose the T-Rex, like, this is the moment where he's going to kick that bad guy's ass. And, my
That win button though, really. Let's.
exactly. So my next thought was like, I wanted to make this thing look like it emerged out of a swamp like 2 seconds ago. So I decided I would create this little ecosystem on its back.
That's awesome.
And let's see. So I was actually hoping that I was going to be able to finish the colors today, but I had to leave town for a minute. But sitting on my drafting table, just waiting for some finishing touches.
You gotta promise to show us what it looks like once it's
Yeah.
Well, I think Prince
You
of
have
this
to color it.
for sure. When
Yeah. If you're on the Instagram, you'll probably see it this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
that bark texture coming up his
Yeah.
thumb. I keep going, yeah. That's so cool.
I really like the rectangle base because it makes it feel more like like a graphic element. It gives it some weight, but it also makes it feel like this is just a splash page, not a full issue.
Makes him so much bigger though too. Like, oh yeah, this whole background, yeah, there's an entire swamp behind him, but look at that.
And I'm always blown away by your draftsmanship. Like your pencil work's incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and start again. I need to put some more work into it.
Do you use like blue pencils, or do you just use mechanical, or what do you use?
Yeah, this one was all with 0.3 pencil. I usually like to use some blue pencil beforehand, but I was drawing on my watercolor paper and like really waxy and doesn't want to take the watercolor.
I'm so heavy-handed when I draw, just traditionally, so I just smear like this whole thing if this is me.
Like, how much do you do of like a skeleton or planning out, or is it just like detail printer, like left to right?
Detail printer.
I mean, my whole thing, like I was trained for like classical style drawing, so I break everything down into tiny little pieces. I really studied a T-Rex skeleton and then T-Rex skin on top of that, and then followed that up by some Swamp Thing studies. It was cool.
Did you have a certain comic artist that you were aiming for a similar style, or is this just all you?
I think Jesus Saiz, I'm probably butchering it, the pronunciation, but his Swamp Thing looked super dope, and I was like, I need to make that.
David Stanfield. Oh wow, that is awesome. Yeah, pretty much just repeating in chat what we've been. Yeah.
Well, I like that I always notice that you add design elements within your art too, like the box, the environment behind it, and then like the raw, with the burst and the caption there. And I just like that. Like I see that sometimes in your work, and I really think it's neat that you do add a lot of design and stuff with your art.
Thank you.
This I think would make a great 3D model printed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be fun.
Like one of those James Groman sculptures that he does, like the corpse Kong and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get like you've got like a broken, like I said, his right leg looks like it was made from a pirate ship, but it also kind of resembles like his muscular structure just made out of planks of wood. Like without it being in color, like you could make this like gory if you wanted to. Like
Yeah.
Some of it looks like it's actually him. Other parts of it seems like it's like mounted or like fused into his body. It's
What he's trying to say is that your designs are gross.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
That's exactly what I wanted.
That's exactly what I wanted.
There's definitely a lot of TLC put into that, man. This is just
Yeah.
awesome. And I gotta see this colored, man. I gotta see this in color.
Did you get anything else done this week?
No, actually I didn't.
No, I haven't even fed the dog.
Oh.
No.
That's why I don't have a dog, actually.
I know.
I'm the least responsible person, is all I'm saying. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. That's so good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now I'm curious, did you guys all go with the first character you decided on, or did you have to think about a few before you settled on one?
I had to think about a few.
Yeah.
I thought of a few.
Oh, the choices were great.
What are some you didn't pick? I'm curious.
I didn't choose any of them.
Wait, what?
went and grabbed my own because I was just excited.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, but I had a few ideas, but
I thought about Venom would be kind of cool just because, like, the thought of like seed spores going off like dandelions to create more symbiotes would be pretty awesome.
I was this close to Betty. I was this close to
You
Betty.
Would be
We're gonna get the entire Golden Girls in by season 2.
Yeah, I know. That's the goal.
God.
Just be honest. Just draw Golden Girls, and we'll move on with our lives.
I'm not gonna chat if you just want everyone to draw Golden Girls for
Right.
this.
Tomorrow, next month, Golden Girls.
Gary, I'm sure we could come up with some kind of prompt that.
Oh, I
fits
know.
that.
Oh, I know. You heard it here
Stay
tonight.
tuned.
You heard it here tonight. It's coming. And
Golden
y'all-
Girls were a superhero team.
Basically, just them at their table.
Golden Girls
Like,
join the Justice
what-
League.
Yeah.
It should totally be like each of us do the Golden Girls, but like one person does it like in an anime style, one does it like a gritty detective style,
No,
like a SoCal art style type deal.
Yes, because in season 2, you're all gonna have to draw at least 10 characters in every drawing.
oh no.
Oh.
every prompt
There's
is
only one
Secret
episode of
Wars.
season 2.
All right, next, Eric's done. Haley, how about you?
Oh my god.
Now, I don't play video games, so I was not familiar with this character, and I looked it up. And
Oh yeah. So who's familiar with like Bloodborne or Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool. I figured at least like so my
At
baby
least the
mama,
first 10 minutes of it, because it's hard as hell.
Yeah.
my baby mama ended up being Vicar Amelia from Bloodborne.
Oh.
Yeah. So heads up. This is
Heads up.
my mom thing and
Oh.
Oh, hi.
That is
Oh, that is sick.
thank
that
you.
lighting, son.
Yeah.
Oh, that is sick.
The dogs are excited too. I'm so glad. So with each like prompt with this group, I try and focus on a skill to kind of work on because it's a good opportunity and it forces me to work on it because I have a deadline. So this time around, I was really trying to like create art with a story behind it. Like I wanted it to look like you're walking through the woods and you see the moon peering through the branches and you look over and you see this beautiful Miss Lady over here washing her hands after a snack kind of. And that and lighting. I really want to get good at lighting. Like I've always been inspired by really quality, like dramatic lighting. So I've been trying to bring that into my own artwork and man, do I love making the ookie spooky. So yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
It does. It totally tells a story, and I know exactly what to look at right away. And those arms sticking out there, it's like I don't know. It's really creepy, and it makes you curious. Like, what does the rest of that look like?
Right.
You know?
So Vicar Amelia is very like she's covered in all of these rags, and Swamp Thing is covered in a bunch of swamp things. So I tried to like when you zoom in, it's not very rendered, but I was trying to give it an appearance of like, covered in her environment. And
Yeah, the details are there.
actually,
Yeah. I like how like your eye finishes it. Like if there's nothing there, to me my eye finishes it.
mm-hmm.
I
So
love
you're-
that. Oh.
Wow.
This is a time lapse of the whole process.
Wow.
Yes.
Went in with a flat brush with black and white on like half opacity and just carved at it. Like
Yeah.
looking back at a process video of mine, it's always just, it doesn't look like I'm working on the same piece because it always just moves around so much.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I love how you incorporated like the veil that she wears, like drapes over, but like into Swamp Thing's like nose.
That,
We were talking about before, where you incorporate, because directly underneath would be the top jaw. So you just get these teeth, like, you know,
Yeah.
without really any idea of what's underneath. It's
I like so far how.
And then
Oh, sorry.
no, I was saying I'm just gonna jump ahead a little bit because it's like I boosted like usually about halfway through a piece when I feel like I'm slowing down, I'll just like jump the contrast super hard and then work out all of the little details after that. But sorry, Gary, what were you saying?
So cool.
To me, the
It's
novel
really-
artist, the weirdo that just sits in the corner in awe of you guys, that blows my mind that the finished product and what you're showing us now, it blows my mind.
it's one of those things that's really fun to go back and watch, and then also like with clients, I know especially like to go back and actually watch the process. It helps kind of connect the dots that like we don't just make this stuff up and then boom, there it is. It's not magic.
Exactly.
Oh
You
my
mean the
God.
computer doesn't draw it for you?
Mine does.
What was that?
Haley,
I just sit
Ellen
and make
says,
coffee.
I want that, I need that.
Tell Ellen I want her and I need her.
I like how you chose to the moon concept of this whole thing was very cool, but I like how you ended up by not showing the moon so much and having that burst of light coming through.
Yeah, because I
Very
started the
cool.
composition started off with a square canvas, and then you can see me eventually like crop it down to
Yeah.
that more
Mm.
widescreen. Because I was trying to figure out like what was going on in my head and why I was kind of stuck in some places, and it's usually just because I didn't think about the composition fully in the beginning, and that's what's tripping me up. But
I love that
Yeah,
you just pulled
that's
up
my little spook.
references. By the way, I love that you just pulled up references for hands
Yep.
and stuff. So you didn't knew how like the hand could sit, even though we're not seeing them in the water. You still took the time to look at the reference, you
Mhm.
know, and you just didn't like guess or whatnot. So kudos on that.
And off my boyfriend's ear about this artist Anthony Jones. I don't
Oh,
know.
I love Anthony Jones.
Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of his process videos, and I was pretty heavily inspired to, you know, bring in that same process into this one. If it's not this, there's I was also having little moments when I was drawing this where I would just imagine also turning around and seeing them in the woods, hearing a little like you just but maybe that's just my own giggle box.
You
Good
gotta
joke.
warn somebody before zooming in creepy like that.
Sorry.
Hello, nightmares.
Dig into your soul.
I
I re-
really like your color and value choices in this.
Yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
that's
you.
always
Yeah.
that's always it reminds me of the scary things you tell, scary stories you tell in the dark,
Yes.
or whatever from back in the
Yeah.
Hey, that's the best compliment you could ever give me.
That could be on the cover.
Gamel's
Just
amazing.
The artwork
Yeah.
along with those covers was like creepy.
Yeah.
This is pulled exactly. Yeah, you see what you see it now. Yeah, like, yeah. This needs to be like a book of like the cover of a children's horror book
Yeah.
or an adult.
Children's horror book.
Like
You know, it's
90s,
Adam and
90s children's horror book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is great.
That's amazing.
I don't do video games, so I wish this was a comic.
Well, now you will.
No, I've tried.
No, it won't.
I'm too old. I can't. It's like parents and VCRs. I can't get the video game.
You can marvel at the character for a minute before it wrecks you, though.
Okay. I like watching my kids play video games.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer,
Thank
the
y'all
whole
for
hell is
Pete.
incredible. Haley is
That
a
was
queen.
great.
You're a queen.
Yeah.
Thank
Black
you.
Pfeiffer said so.
If you ever decide to sell prints of that, contact us.
Okay.
We're gonna probably buy
I will be
we're gonna
first in
buy our own
line.
sketchbook like 10
I know.
We need to make that calendar. so
We're
we-
like, we'll be
Yeah,
like
we
the
could- we
Girl
can make a
Scouts that just
calendar, yeah.
keep buying each other's cookies. That's what we are.
I like cookies. Yeah.
Yeah, I like cookies.
Well, you know, virtual Visioncon is coming up. That will be 2 episodes from now for us. What is it? April
Yeah.
30th through May 2nd. I would love it if we could figure out a way to maybe sell some prints for you guys.
Ooh.
Look into that. We mentioned a calendar once, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
It'd be
We'll
cool.
put the swimsuit calendar first then.
Here it's an art calendar.
will
not
say
a-
this. I do, all jokes aside, I really do miss the live show. Miss all you guys out there. Fingers crossed we can get a convention sooner than later. But I hope everyone's out there being safe. But I do miss y'all. We got to do this soon. And I hope things kind of normalize to where we can do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss everybody. I miss people. I miss geeky
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
just the mingle.
I miss the bad
So-
food.
Yeah.
Deanna, Gary, guys, I got to log off. Christy's gonna get to work, so
Oh, okay. Thanks
Okay,
for
man.
stopping by.
Hey. yeah,
Have you
I
got
just want to stop
anything-
by and say hey.
Anything we should be looking out for soon, or just next?
Oh,
Have you
Right.
plug anything before you go?
Just lots of comic book covers in the independent world soon. I can tell, but right now I can't. I got about 5 down the line I'm working on right now. So
Did
and
you
I'll be able
just
to
show
post
one?
something.
Did you just
Huh?
show a cover? Now you just showed a cover online, right? Like you just posted
Yeah.
one recently.
Yeah, I posted one here recently. That was for zombie eating cheerleaders and from outer space.
Oh yeah, that looked awesome. I love.
Yeah,
this
that was
selfie.
Who comes up
lines
with
by
these
me. I don't
titles?
know who done the colors. I gotta find out who done the colors, but I done the lines for it. So
Well, thanks for dropping in, David.
yeah, and I'll be back next month if you guys want me. So
Yeah,
For
just
sure.
be prepared. Last Thursday at the end of the month, you'll be in the chat. You're always in the chat on Facebook.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I
I'll be
tell
back,
everyone
so-
what's going on. So yeah,
Okay.
but get better. Get them eyes better. You're gonna need.
Oh,
them
those
next
eyes,
month.
they're coming back.
Yeah.
Bionic. It's gonna be good. See you guys.
Take care,
Okay.
man.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Good
Gary.
one.
You want me to go?
Gary never
you
goes
only want-
first.
you-
Gary never goes last, and we're in the middle.
That is true. That's always the rule. Never go first, and I never go last. So I picked Medusa from the Inhumans, which is funny because Caitlin picked down here. Well, she's on my screen down here. She picked, yeah, right there.
From point
She's
Caitlin.
doing Medusa from Greek mythology, so it's gonna be really cool. Seeing the two, and I'm curious to know like what kind of similar like designs that you used.
Yeah.
So excited about that. Hold on.
Oh, you didn't peek, Gary? I forgot. I peeked.
I know. Yeah, I know you peeked. So,
I don't
but I
want to
kind
have
of
to keep
cheated. I just
looking
did a
close. Oh.
I just did a portrait, but because I was like, man, I don't have a lot of time, so I just did like a portrait, and I did it all like in values first, like just in black and white. Like here, I'll take it apart for you. Actually, let me move this here because I feel like I'm looking.
Anyone
like
that
way
doesn't
over
know
there.
comics, Medusa's the one with the giant red hair that
She's an Inhuman. She's one of the Inhumans. She's Black Bolt's wife. So when her and Swamp Thing got it on, they made her. she had to move out of Black Bolt's house to Miami to live with Swamp Thing. Sorry, but
Sorry.
not sorry. So I started with just the values here. Of course, I got like 100 layers because that's just what I do. I don't want to like go through them all. But I tend to just kind of do one line layer. Really rough too. It's not like completely finished, and then I'll just start kind of just blasting like light and shadow. I'll usually zoom out to about like this size there, so it just like start throwing in chunks of like shadow and light, and not even worrying about like detail. You're not supposed to worry about detail at that point. Just where you want the light to go and where you want your eyes to go, where you want the viewer's eyes to go. And since, of course, the face, I just made sure that was the brightest part. And then after I do that, I zoom in, and then I start doing more detailed values underneath, and then I start working on top of the line layer. And then I made a color layer, and all of it is like overlays and underneath and on top. So there's like my base black and white value. And then underneath is like their base colors here, and then some that are overlaid on top. So like overlay, that one's a multiply layer, normal. And for those that don't know, they just do different things like see through or make things brighter or whatnot. And then after I finished it, I threw another layer over it and got my cool little effect there. And I can't remember what the name of that lily is either. It's a swamp lily, but I can't remember the name of it.
Her face is stunning.
Yeah, she looks familiar. No, I mean, not like I don't know her. Like, I don't know. Oh, what's that singer that with Destiny's Child?
Beyonce?
No, Beyonce? Who's that singer with Destiny's Child? Beyonce? Like the super famous one?
He's a metal kid.
I'm not ashamed. At least I had it right.
Yeah,
She
he
looks like
broke
that
out
girl.
Destiny's Child.
Gary, did you use like a photo reference for a model for
No.
this face? Okay.
No, not this time.
Have you ever drawn
I was
it and
lazy.
realized it was Lauren?
What's that?
Have you ever drawn a woman and realized it was Lauren?
No, but they say when you do draw people, you usually kind of like take pieces of like and parts of people that you know.
Yeah.
And like certain features, like, oh, I like the way your cheekbone's set, so you might use that in a
Draw them
drawing or something
cheekbones.
like that, or this person slouches weird or stands weird, so I'm gonna draw this character like that, that kind
Feel
of
called
thing.
out here.
But we borrow. You guys know this. We borrow from everyone,
Yeah.
life, the world. It's like you see
Feel like
some-
an artist.
Yeah, exactly. Which I actually have that book in the living room.
It's wild.
Or Shakira?
how, like,
I can't remember. Maybe it's the hair.
yeah.
Gary, I love your rendering of the flower and the leaves. The hair is very
Thanks,
cool.
man.
I love how even you have the thorns coming at the viewer. I love your tonal values and how you work the light. This is all good.
You and I are like obsessed with lighting.
You got to be.
Yeah,
You gotta be.
dude, we're like obsessed with it. Like on Instagram, like we would just send each other art, but it's like crazy lighting. Like, and it's just like, you see the lighting on that dude? That was crazy. Like if you go look like at Mine and Chet's Instagram chat, every single image in there is like some kind of like painted image of something with nutty lighting that someone did that just is crazy. You're like, oh, we want to do that. That's cool. So,
I think that shows a level of development. I think when you get to a certain point and you've mastered certain things, you've got those under your belt. I think lighting is one of those, just like with guitar players, tone is always the last thing they master, right? So I think in the art world, it's one of those things that are showing you you're there. Because when you start playing with light, then you start really, really bringing in warmth and all kinds of lifeness into your work. And this represents that very well.
thanks, man. And I was kind of like trying to figure out like more economic ways of rendering an image too. That's why I started like in values first. It
Right.
seemed instead of like putting the colors in, it seemed like I had more control over the lighting when I did it in values first, and then like I could render more lighting on top of that using like the overlays and stuff. So, I mean, it might be something I might try again in the future because I felt like really comfortable rendering this image. So, who knows?
Krista says in black and white, she thinks it looks like Anne Hathaway.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you put a gold foil Marvel Masterpieces across the bottom, I totally would have.
Wait, give me just a second. I'll go on Google.
I honestly at first glance I thought maybe like She-Hulk and
Yeah. Somebody's mad back there.
It's bedtime.
This part right here is one of my favorite parts of the image.
That's
Like
awesome.
the little growth of the.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you guys ever do this, but James does. James does. I know James does this, but like you'll do a whole piece and you're like, I like this little corner right here. See the way I made these 4 dots? Man, that shit is cold, man. Look at those dots.
A 5-hour dandelion.
Yeah, exactly.
They could be a print of its own. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stop staring at the rim light on the vines up there in the top right corner.
Oh yeah.
That's just beautiful.
Thank you. Lighting is so fun to play with when you're painting, because you're gonna get it wrong a lot, and it's really frustrating. But it's so fun. One of the people that one of the artists that made me that made me super interested in lighting, believe it or not, was Dave Raposa. He really got me into like lighting.
What's his name?
Dave Raposa. Daryl actually used to do Crimson Daggers. He used to do a lot of you were part of that forum or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I followed the forum. I watched all of his live streams. The dude's awesome, and his rim light stuff it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane, super insane.
He actually he does a Patreon now that's got all the breakdowns of the different stuff he does, and his is one of the few Gumroads where I'm like, I will happily pay you $10 because all of his videos are like 16 or 20 hours.
Yeah.
Of tutorial stuff. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's not human. Like his work is insane. The guy is not, excuse the language, fucking human. It's nuts, dude.
I love how unrendered the vines are next to just like this wildly rendered, and how I didn't even notice it until
Right. Yeah.
Are you talking about these guys here?
no, on the left, like those versus
yeah.
like flower. Like it's such a short space between that wildflower and then like those vines on the left. But
Because
it's
I didn't want you to look there. That's why. See, like again,
It's an illusion.
I didn't want you to look there. I worked smarter, not harder. I was like, I'm just gonna put a big old fat arrow right here. Just tell them to look here. But,
Still got enough texture on those vines though that until you zoom in, I don't read them as anything less than a lot of detail.
Right.
they're just lines that just take.
Yeah, like the little whirly do.
Right, and after that effect that you put on it, Gary, it just adds to that.
Yeah.
There's the version without.
Yep. When you add the effect, it makes it a lot more busier.
A lot more busier.
There's something
A lot
about
more
it.
busier. Hey, I'm making these sentences up as I go along.
Hey, dude, we do it all the time. Don't even feel bad. You are amongst friends. But yeah, man, that's it for me. You know, thanks for checking it out, guys. I appreciate it.
See, this is one of those. I don't read Inhumans, but if this was on the cover, it would stop me. I would pick up that book and look through it. She's fascinating.
Well, you should tell Marvel to let me draw the Inhumans, and I can make that real for you.
Yeah, let me call him right up. I talk to him all the time.
Just call Mr. Faggy on your phone and just say, hey. But no, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And anybody watching this and wanting to get closer looks at all this art, there will be an album on the Visioncon's Facebook page.
Especially Kevin Feige.
When you're ready to look closer and hire these people, there's links in the video. But yeah, we'll have the album up and you can go through it, and it will have links for all the artists so you can see even more and buy their stuff. Okay, next. How about our new fresh blood, Chet?
No!
Are you ready?
No!
Fresh blood.
All right, let me see if I can figure this out.
Fresh blood.
It's just like we practice, chat.
We
I
all
know,
get to blame him if he doesn't figure it out the first time, right?
Everybody gets one mistake. Isn't that what you said, Gary?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot who your prompt was.
Oh my God.
That's cool, man.
So that's about as wrong as I can make it. So
Who put so much into the parents?
That's a
Jinkies.
full-on poster too. I like that. That's
I figured they needed to be a part of this, right?
It's
Oh,
wrong
man.
is right again.
oh,
So
that's-
this all started out with a Bernie Wrightston study with the Swamp Thing,
It's a good study.
yeah.
and
yeah.
and
Part of me was like, did he just like copy and paste something onto that? But that's
No.
a damn good study.
Yeah.
and so after that, I said, well, who are we going to make for a spouse? And I said, well, we can't just. So I thought sexy Velma. And she wasn't on the list.
Chet, that's like, oh my God. It's like she cut off half her skirt and stuffed it into her bra.
You know, it was referenced from somebody else's thing on the internet. So I decided that was
Yeah, there's-
cool. Let's just throw that in there.
It's still far more accurate than a lot of Velmas out there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love her. That's my favorite Velma I've ever seen.
I will show some of the Wrightston study. So
Kid face is cool, man.
Nice.
Wow.
this is Wrightston's original work, and it's very hard to do digital pen the same way this pen work is just amazing, and it will drive you insane. So that's how the whole thing got started. And then I did a Wrightston style tree and then the grass, and then I just said, I don't even, as a matter of fact, I was so lost on where to go with this. I just put Bart Simpson in a swamp in front of this, and he was doing the Nirvana album cover. He was swimming for the money.
Oh,
And then I said, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. So I destroyed it all and started all over again. So this is where this is where I ended up. So I found a child picture on the internet and basically used that as a reference,
That's really good.
and then kind of made it more like a school picture pose, and just started adding the Swamp Thing features. So I had a friend of mine said, well, Velma's looking off in the, what's going on here? And I said, well, the story behind this is she's much like Daddy. So she wants to play in the swamp, and they're looking for her now.
Oh, I love it. She looks so sweet and innocent.
I know, right? They all do at a young age. And then they develop.
How'd you guys meet? Mommy tried to pull Daddy's head off me. She thought it was a mask.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
I like his pose.
Oh, rendered
So
too.
yeah, you captured that really well.
The flow of her hair with the shoulders and like the swamp features is really nice.
It looks like a classic movie. Like
yeah.
Yeah, one of those
Movie
old school
poster.
movies. Yeah.
So the Velma drawing, from animation and everything, is very flat. And so I wanted to kind of do the entire piece of work as a Bernie tribute. And you really can't. If you put those flat black values on that character, it would just blow it out. So I kept struggling with that. So I just decided to do Velma like this, and then just go in and shade. So there's almost 3 different art styles going on this. So there's the Wrightston study with the Swamp Thing, and then there's a different style here altogether, so that you don't lose the so the character's still recognizable. And then this is more like my style. So this is just taking a reference from a photo and just drawing it in. And there's 3 different tributes going on here, I guess.
But it still works though.
Yeah.
Well, I tried that.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing, is bringing them all together.
Yeah, like my brain doesn't go like, oh, that looks like this. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, because it all works. It all flows together.
I'm
Yeah.
also pretty familiar with your style, Chet. Like we see a little bit of everything from a collection of things that you've done over the last like couple of years that we've been really hanging out on them on a more regular basis. So for us, like each piece, it's like, yep, that's Chet. Yep, that's Chet. Yep, that's Chet. So
This is what he's been leading to all along.
Yeah.
This was my epic thing. Now I can shut it all down and go home. I've hit the pinnacle.
You have every right to. It's amazing.
Thank you guys.
The tree, like the detail in the branches in the tree, where it looks like he just took, I imagine, like a round brush and just carved it in.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a thing that Gary and I like to do. We like to leave those marks, those little floaties, whenever you erase. It kind of gives character to the piece of artwork,
Right.
and it
You didn't
just
scribble in the tree. You didn't carve in a tree and make a tree. It's like you carved the tree out of the background.
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
You get some really cool shapes doing that too.
Oh yeah.
When you carve it compared to like drawing it and then doing it.
Right.
You're just like, instead of just making these crazy primitive shapes, you can shave them down and stuff. That's always been fun to me.
Filling in stuff with a paint knife. Just-
Yeah. That's great stuff, dude.
And I have to tell you, the hardest part of all this was actually drawing Bart Simpson the first time I drew him.
There's a very particular number of spikes on his head.
The Bart Simpson thing, as simple as it is, and to draw that, I would hate to be on that team. I couldn't do it because my mind just isn't wired that way. All right. Well, thanks for looking, guys.
I just keep like, I'm mesmerized by her big blue eyes. I just can't stop staring at her. I want to hug her.
You want to see the photo reference?
Sure.
Okay.
Like, I imagine, she's giving you those baby doll eyes, but she's also stabbing you in the stomach with like a twig.
Oh, okay.
Aww.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love seeing how people interpret references.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
Dig it.
Wait, you're being a being a nuisance.
Perfect. Now we expect you to come back. We love it.
No.
Dope.
If you keep drawing skirts that short, Chet, you can come back whenever you
All right.
Challenge accepted.
That's how we get artists on here. We just put a box and a stick underneath and a sandwich, and a big old line of string,
And a short skirt.
and just snatch that out of there and get out of that
Ooh,
box.
piece of candy. Ooh, the candy.
That's how I got you.
All right. Let's go back for some girl power now. Caitlin, how about you?
Yeah, sure.
You're our other Medusa, aren't you?
I am the other Medusa. Yeah, and I went a lot younger. Well, I don't know. Kid Velma Swamp Thing was probably younger than what I went with, but I definitely went with like with the prompt to go like, I don't know, preschool, kindergarten age. And so I went with kind of a child, and I tried to put together a story. Let's see. Because I've been trying to get better at kind of having storytelling with my illustrations.
All right.
Oh, I love that.
Awesome.
So
Sorry, no,
The Pandora lunchbox
yeah.
all day, all day. Oh.
Missing tooth. Sorry,
So-
please continue.
So my original thought with this was, okay, for going with a small child, what do I remember from being a small child? Show and tell day. So I thought it'd be fun for her to bring her pet gerbil, which has been petrified.
No.
So and then parents like to take their photos of the kids when they do things, so I thought I'd make it into like a little Polaroid picture so that they could hang it on the refrigerator. So yeah, we've got the Pandora lunchbox, the little snakes, her pigtails pulled back.
She's so sweet.
Added alligator door
Yeah,
knocker,
the door knocker. That's just clever.
That's adorable.
That's great. Oh my god.
I have to ask: is the hamster that a lunchbox for the snakes?
I don't know.
Well, apparently, at some point, as soon as she got it, she looked at it, and it's been that.
Yeah,
ever
she's
since.
so excited to show it to her class, though. So the poor thing.
I love the wrapping on
survived.
her arms and her legs, but with the
Yeah.
pretty dress. Like,
Yeah,
I like how everything is so thought out
right.
in this. Like the door. I mean, down to the hair, the dress,
The lore.
like the lunchbox. I mean, everything. I mean, this is I really, really, really dig this, man. And this
She's
is
so
a
happy.
great
Got rosy
character
cheeks,
design
missing tooth, and
right
snake
here.
hair.
Great character
Yeah.
design.
So I also I know one of the things you guys wrote in the email was to try to think of a name.
Hey, I was gonna ask if anybody did that.
Yeah, so it
Oh.
doesn't it sounds like an odd name, but this is my reasoning. I call her Cotton because I wanted to do kind of a symbolic snake and swamp thing, and so I did some Google searches to see what the most common snake is in swamps, and it's a cottonmouth. So
Of course it is.
Aw.
Oh, interesting.
So-
Okay.
yeah, so that's what I'm calling her. So little Cotton, all ready to go to school for show and tell day.
I adore her.
That's so funny. I love the Polaroid and the painted look style. I don't know. Everything about this seems really well thought out, but
Thanks.
still simple and just like you just look around and you catch references to something. This is well put together. And her eyes are just offset enough to where she's looking not directly at the camera. That alone is like you captured the perfect. Like I don't have kids, but that's like every kindergarten first day of school pick where they're not paying attention at all to whatever.
Yeah, so yeah, I had a ton of fun with this. Normally I wouldn't draw this kind of stuff. Like I've never drawn like little kids before, so it was a really fun challenge. And then just being able to kind of put together a story to tell in the illustration was something I really had fun with.
I love that all of you guys are doing that. Like you guys are all been doing the storytelling, adding this narrative to your work. So I'm very excited about that. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
great. Your usage of colors, I always like your usage of color.
Yeah.
That's great. Like
Thank you. I am trying to get better constantly, so might have to use some of your lighting tips next time.
I love how it looks like a photo, like
Yeah.
the bushes in the house in the back as well, where it's not completely like rendered or over detailed. But
You
still,
can make it
man,
a children's book.
this is so freaking cute. I know that's just like a silly, not like productive thing to say about it, but it just makes my heart really happy.
Yay.
I'm one of those people that loves Easter eggs, and I feel like every time I look, I find something else adorable you've added.
The little petrified hamster
Yeah.
is my favorite thing in this episode so far. Like,
For a minute, I see the stone detail of it. I just thought it was scared to death for a second, but
his little
no, honestly, could be like page one of like a children's book
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
thanks.
of like
Thanks.
some girl that looks different or is different from the rest of her classmates, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just see like it unfolding from here.
It really reminded, when I was working on this, it reminded me of this old Back to Scooby-Doo movie, like back in the 90s or whenever, I don't know when it came out, but where they went to like a ghoul school and they had to like, they were with like a whole bunch of like monster girls. And so it's like, oh, she would fit right in.
Oh
Was it Monster High?
Yeah, I think it was maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the name of the movie was, but it was, I had it on VHS back in the day.
Then it must have been old, right?
Right? Yeah.
Very well done. I love this.
So yeah, that is my Medusa Swamp Thing. I don't know what the head canon is for how they hooked up, but
No one needs
It doesn't seem. It doesn't. It
like
seems.
it's best if we just don't think about it, any of these, right?
So no one moved out of anyone's house to Miami.
I imagine Swamp Thing had to keep his eyes shut the whole time.
right?
Or another scenario I won't say out loud.
We won't go there.
That's what you're thinking about.
This is for a children's book, so
Krista says that's adorable, and then James Daly, crazy cute, love it.
Hey, Deanna, paper
Yeah.
or plastic?
so all right. Thanks, guys.
Oh god, yeah, that's wonderful.
She just looks so happy. She's just so excited.
I want to see like more characters, this more like from that world.
her classroom.
I do too. Like, I don't know, is she going to a normal school? Is she? Is it a class of nothing but his spawn of different?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like a dolphin fin kid there or something.
Like a My Hero Academia scenario. No.
Right. There's one normal human who is adopted.
He's the weird one.
He's the weird one. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Nate, you are up.
All right.
And your character is, I never say it right, Cthulhu?
Yeah, Cthulhu Kraken. I ended up going with Cthulhu mostly. Actually, I did. I finally made a decision.
Aww.
So far, it seems as though I'm the only one that actually went with a baby. I didn't think about it. But a lot of the decisions I was making with this. So I played Injustice 2 a lot, and in that game, Swamp Thing is a playable character, and he has a lot of different variations too, because you can change their armor and how they look. Well, there's a lot of them where a lot of the bark he wears is like grown up as armor. So that was kind of the inspiration for like his arms, like his arms being like kind of shielded with this mossy bark, and then like his legs, his shins, having a growth to it. And then having gills on the side, just because I imagine Cthulhu would have something like that. Being kind of an aquatic in nature, but like, I don't know if you ever, well, I mean, a lot of you have, when you have kittens or when you have puppies and you buy them or whatever, you first get them, they have a certain color to them, but then as they grow older, like their color completely changes or swaps to something. So I have, he's got that bluish kind of aquatic look to him, but as he's getting older, like as he's growing, like there's the other side of him is starting to kind of like creep in, like underneath his headlocks, and you see the green in the side. And as he's maturing, I suppose maybe like puberty, more moss or, but this is kind of early stages of what I suppose.
So far, we've done a pretty good job at just like actually going down the line as far as age. Like it's got continuously younger. It's a very good line that we had going on.
I heard babies' nails grow fast, but man, look at those toenails.
Yeah. Little wing hooks, they kind of took over for.
I'm digging the eyes and the forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in a little?
Sure.
I keep catching myself sticking my face up to my computer.
I know.
I forget it's not as big for you as it is for me. I'm sorry. He's got that kind of a glowing scale kind of sea.
I like those.
Mm-hmm.
Bit. I don't know. I don't know what pissed him off, but whatever it is, he's like, kind of summoning something, dark,
Just
summoning nature.
Is his diaper full?
Yeah. No, I mean, there wasn't really. The only real challenge was figuring out because it was easy for me to get the Cthulhu references in there, but then to like get plenty of, and again, like I wanted to kind of reference the fact that when they're young, they seem like they're going in this direction, but as they get older, they kind of change, and
I like how we all interpreted it too, like how some of us felt like we had to do a kid, or the prompt was fun. He's so dang cute, that little chubby baby Valley.
That little bottom lip.
Yeah.
He had the Swamp Thing chops in the beginning for a while, but then he kind of looked like an old man, and then he kind of looked like Remy from Motorhead because he had because I had the moss go like around the bottom of his little cheeks, and then the wife was like, "Oh, I like his little mutton cheeks," and I'm like, "Okay," and she goes, "But don't put it." We had to kick it around for a little bit whether or not to include it, but maybe if we did a teenager version, he'll have the metal chops.
Well, or really just thin moss on his upper lip for a little while.
Just that little that Romero stash, really thin, creepy stash.
Now, what did you do this in, Nate?
This was I did all the line work in I got the drawing, the pencil work. Actually, it's still in the scanner. I did all the line work in pencil and then scanned it in Illustrator for the line work, and then Photoshop to color, for colors and textures. I made a couple of brushes. I actually took I made the moss brush.
Yeah.
This the leaves are actually 3 different leaf brushes that I kind of layered on top of each other. I kind of went Bob Ross style, where I went from dark to light, and I added white just to kind of help accent him. And I thought it was pretty neat. I didn't know what to do with the background. I tried a couple different things. I didn't like anything.
I think it looks fine with the white background.
Yeah, with the glow of the almost the sea salt kind of speckling on his scale, and I thought it looked better with it light or white. So,
like, I can picture this as like a toy or something. Like some kind of statue or some kind of like vinyl figure you get on Kid Robot or something.
The merchandising opportunities from tonight have been impressive.
Right?
Toys, lunch boxes.
There's gonna be a whole comic franchise or a whole new like TV animated series on Netflix right after this show, and we're gonna kick ourselves.
It's the Swamp Things.
It's the Swamp. Yeah.
Man, this is better than Spaceballs the Flamethrower.
The kids love
like 12 and Counting or whatever it is, that show where they just keep having kids, but these are Swamp Thing. Yeah. Anyways.
Good job, Nate.
Thank you.
Dope. He's cute.
Love it. All right, we have one left. Daryl, are you ready?
Yeah.
And you did King Kong, correct?
Yes. I called him Swamp Monkey.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
What?
Is this a poster?
Wow.
Whoa, dude.
So, yeah. I wanted, the main thing was I wanted to put him in New York instead of the Skull Island, just so the jungle elements were a little more out of place. But yeah, I don't know. And I started traditional because I thought it might actually help me a little bit, make it look a little bit more organic. But in the end, it was just really sloppy. So I'll bring up. So I did it in watercolor, and that was my base.
Yeah, cool.
And then
That's why I'm loving the color value so much.
Yeah.
Then I just played with this sky, and I'm not very good with color. Well, that's kind of my big downfall. And so it was lots of color things. And my wife, she liked my original color background of reds, but I was not confident in how well he stood out. So I just changed it up like that. But
I actually like that one better. I like that one.
But yeah, so I just spent way too much time doodling in all the little vines, and
no, it paid off, man. It looks like a vintage.
It looks like a a really old Magic the Gathering card.
Well,
Yeah.
I was not shooting for any particular style, but as I got near finishing it, I was like, this reminds me of something, and I cannot place what it is.
It's like something you see on one of those old magazines, the fantasy magazines, like Creepy or
Yeah.
Yeah, like those cryptozoic.
Yeah, or like Amazing Stories, or you know, just those creature monster magazines from like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
This
I love
work.
strokes in the back. Those are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the coloring on the monkey, swamp monkey himself. I love how that all comes together. Just I see greens and reds and purples.
Hey, listen now. Kong's not a monkey. He's an ape. He's part of the great ape family.
That must be his pet name, little swamp monkey.
Yeah.
Not so little
I'm
anymore.
assuming his eyes are red all the time, so you can't tell that he's pissed about it.
Yeah. That was it. I wanted to draw him kind of chill, just because if it's a gorilla, they're always roaring, and like every single image, illustration anyway. And he's still. So I used a photo reference to look off of, and there is a monkey out there, or a gorilla, that he's on like Shanghai or something like that, but he's known as the handsome gorilla.
Yes.
Because he likes to pose and whatnot. And so this is one of his laid back casual.
His eyes have a not so normal amount of white around, like almost more human eyes than typical. And so he's got far more facial expression just because of his eyes and his poses alone.
Yeah, there was lots of comments from ladies going, I feel uncomfortable with how attractive I find this gorilla.
Yeah.
Good work, Daryl.
Yeah, those colors
Strong composition.
really amazing.
So just so I'm not mistaken, like you drew it traditionally and then watercolored it traditionally and then enhanced it in Photoshop. Like you added, I guess, more color to it or whatever.
Yeah, a little bit. Most of the color was in the watercolor, and then it was. I spent like 2 days cleaning up my watercolor to get the lines tight like I wanted. And then the last day just actually doing detail stuff, but almost all the color was from the original watercolor that I just, selected and copied. So yeah.
Wow.
He's
very cool.
He's fancy.
And I like how the brushstrokes serve as buildings. Like it's kind of abstract, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
Great stuff, man.
I was afraid I'd get lost in trying to do because Google Earth has it where you can do the 3D view of like the big landmarks.
Yeah.
And so I got that's what I used for reference was the Google Earth, and I lined everything up like I wanted. And I could have spent way too long on that background, but
I think it's like all the buildings and those brushstrokes in the background are also square and linear going across one direction, and then Kong himself right in the center, or Swamp Kong in the center, is got those good fuzzy round textures, so he stands out really well. I think this piece is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Textures are really good.
The watercolor's tough, dude. It is tough.
Yeah. That's what I've been working on the last year, is trying to use, because when I was younger trying to use it, I could never get anything to work like I wanted, but I was expecting it to be like one and done. Like you put down the color and that's where it is. But oddly, working as a visual effects compositor, you learn like half of it's just layering things to get one look. And it actually kind of helped me a little bit understand watercolor a little better. So, but yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job with the edges.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's just great. Very impressive, man.
I think there's both a compliment and people talking a lot about your art, and then people just being silent, just staring at it, and they're like, "Oh man," no words. It's just fucking awesome. Farukin, sorry.
Family friendly.
Family friendly.
It's
For
after
the
2 o'clock.
Family friendly, awesome.
for the children.
For the children.
For the children. That we'll watch WandaVision. Very good.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece, man. You guys are killing it tonight. Jesus, man.
Man, I think this one's my favorite episode that we've had so far.
Man, this is
I say that after every episode. I'm like, oh, this was the best one. Oh no, this was the best one. Now, anybody watching that's new to this or just doesn't realize, they only have, I think, a week and a half.
Generally like a week.
That's if you start when you should, right? When you get
exactly.
For all we know, they have one.
All of us are just like,
Yeah, a week, which
just
means
shaking and
days to think about it and then one day to draw it. Exactly.
Right. For me, somebody like me though, the hardest part and the most time-consuming part is wrapping my head around what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's there, all I have to do is just do it. And yeah, that takes time, and I might spend 6 or 8 hours on it, but it's like it doesn't bother me.
I usually, like, at the beginning of the week when we first get the prompt, I'll instantly jump into it for like an hour or two because I'm just riled up and I get really excited. And then I don't touch it until like 2 days before we have to turn it in. And then I do another last little session, and then I just turn it in because I spent all the time thinking about it. But
that was one of the reasons why I did the watercolor, because I knew I would have to let it dry in layers to force me to actually start a couple of days early.
mm,
nice.
Well, Chet, you were talking about doing yours. You started yours like not long after we got the prompt, wasn't it? Like you were.
Well, I wasn't sure that I was even going to be a part of this, but I decided to do the Bernie Wrightson study, and then that turned into, something else. And I spent so much time on that I decided whenever I moved, I tried to make that work inside of a composition, which I was failing miserably there for a while. But yeah, I didn't want to waste that work. So I started right away just because I wanted to do a Bernie study, and I knew how complex it is.
Well, they say all those studies actually stick with you better if you use them in something as opposed to just a one-off practice.
I definitely learned a lot from this. I'm an artist that maybe spends 30 minutes on something. I don't spend a lot of time on something. So this was kind of one of those late nighters. So there was a lot of, and then going back the next night, looking at it again, and then the next night, looking at it again, and yeah. So you tear it apart and put it all back together again. So yeah, you definitely learned a lot from this. So I appreciate you guys inviting me here.
Dude, glad you're here, man. You're stuck now. Door's locked behind you.
Yeah.
Sandwich in a box, baby. It works every time.
Now I'm curious, have any of you that have been drawing with the Pink Clique this year ever gone with like the first thing you picked, it worked, or do you all go through this process of constantly changing your idea?
Yeah, let's go around the room with this question. Eric, we'll start with you because you quiet over there, man.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Good job, Eric.
most of the time, I mean, I have pretty awesome ideas, so I just go.
Boom.
What? Can't even hate on that, man. Gotta respect that hustle.
All right, yeah, no, right on.
So, Eric, when you're not becoming a playa.
My motto would just be excellent all the time.
Exactly.
So, like, do you just like know, like, all jokes aside, like, do you just know like what you want to do, or like sometimes do you have design processes, or sometimes it's like, okay, I know I want to do that and that exactly.
Most of the time, honestly, I try to come up with at least like 3 thumbnails for, this is one view, this is a different view that tells the same story as the other one and presents it a different way, gives me a better composition or something. I've got to find, some other idea that'll work for it. This time, it was the first idea. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. Even sometimes, even if you explore other ideas, like say you might have done 3, sometimes you just go right back to the first one. You're like, man, you know what? This was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely something to be said about intuition, especially if you're like already a fan of the property anyway. There's that little thing in the back. You've had that discussion with the buddies, like, wouldn't it be awesome if we saw this character fighting this guy? And so you've already got the scene
Right.
in your head.
Oh,
But
you
then
mean
it's
you mean IDW? Is that what you mean? That's what they do.
Yeah. Then it's the artist that gets in there and starts going, well, is that the best composition? Am I really going to have time for that? I mean, really going to have time for that? And
What about you, James? What about your process?
It's constantly being revised all the time. I mean, I'll do a couple sketches, throw it away. I mean, you know me, I throw everything away.
Yeah, you're insane, dude.
Yeah. So, I'm always constantly revising, reworking. It's like, oh, and then my biggest problem is like, oh, I want to add this, but where do I shove it? Type of thing. That's my biggest problem. It's like, oh, this, like this one here, that landscape. It was like, oh, I need to add this element in there. Well, where the hell am I going to shove this damn thing? And and then I get distracted. That focus, that deep focus of, well, I got to do this, like the dandelion thing. I spend all day. It's like, for some reason, on a smart object, it gets shrunk down to about that big.
Dude, that's gonna have a name. We're gonna start calling that the dandelion effect.
Right. Yeah. It's like the dandelion.
Wasted time Rutherford project process.
Right. But everybody, all of us can identify with it. The dandelion complex.
yeah.
So does the deadline of the showtime and it's happening, does that make you work faster, or does it censor your choices?
No.
I like the deadline. I
Yeah.
find it cool.
I'm
If it
used
were
to
a deadline, I would work on a piece until I died. Like the deadline just allows me to actually finish a piece.
Yeah.
Until I have a deadline, I probably wouldn't start it.
Yeah.
And I say that because, like I said, most of the most difficult part of my head is just figuring out what's most important, how am I going to capture that, and then once I have that visually in my head, like all I have to do is put it from here. Now, granted, in my process, it actually ends up looking cooler when it's done than what the big picture that I had, but that's just because as I'm going, like, happy little accidents kind of inspire other versions or and it's just like the color over here would be like, oh, that would be cool if it was like had this accent, and then if that accent had a glow that affected this over here, and then so it just kind of, it's like a puzzle. But once the main message is there, like I'm okay, like we're fine. So honestly, if it takes me a week to do 4 hours of work, if I have a whole week, that's probably the way it's going to break down, because that 4 hours is going to be the most productive hours I've ever had, because I had a whole week to think on it.
Well, and there's some psychological principle that says whatever amount of time you have for a project, that's how long it'll take you to do that project, no matter what.
Yeah.
I think you just learn to trust your own process and your own brain.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Well,
Well, I think
surprise,
it's-
guys, we're having another show tomorrow night, and you all have to have a piece for it. Right now.
Oh shit!
It won't be
But
colored.
I think as creators and as artists, like,
We probably have a secret folder full of things that we've never shared that we'd be like, oh, I just whipped this up.
the vault.
Or the vault, right? Yeah.
I think with art and working on pieces and stuff, you're right. It takes us the amount of time that you give us, because as artists, we squeeze in every single damn second that we have, like up to the deadline. Because sometimes we'll pick at stuff and we're like, oh, well, they're not gonna like this, or if you're dealing with a client or whatever, they might not like it, or they'll send it back like 100 times. But if by ourselves, if we're allowed to just work on it, yeah, we'll we'll work on to that last second.
That's another reason why I turned in my piece to the folder at like 8 a.m. because I knew that I would just like kill it by working on it too hard. I was like, if it's turned in, then I can't touch it.
It's not so much for the project or for you. It's more for us. Be like, just get it out of my life. I can move on. I know that I had, whenever I was in school, I actually did graphic design full time and then went to school after work. And it was weird being paid to do artwork and projects for people on a very strict timeline. And then going to a school and paying them to teach me what I already do. Anyways, what was interesting was when they would be like, all right, well, here's the project, here's what's expected of you, here's the due date. And I'm like, can I just work on this at home? Because I have everything there. Like, you know, so I would get things done, but I would intermix it with actual work projects or independent projects. So it's just like, if I hit a deadline, like if the deadline was like 2.5 weeks, well, I only needed like 3 days. And well, that's not due yet. Take this now because I will not leave it alone until, you know, and it's going to get lost in the other stuff. So please just take it now. And I got decent about like, and a lot of clients, they sometimes get upset if you do it too quickly. Where they're like, really, I paid this much and you did it in like 3 days. What could you have done if you took the whole week? And it's like, it doesn't work.
It's that whole theory of for like people only want products if they're really expensive, you know? Like, even if it's an amazing product, but it's only like $2, people probably won't buy it because they're like, well, why is it only $2? That doesn't seem right. When it's probably still a great product. It's the same thing. Like, and I was watching a podcast / stream about how is professional artists and people were asking questions. One of the questions was, like, well, how many layers do you use and how long does it take for you to do a piece? And he's like, however long I need and however many you need. And it's like, well, clients rarely will ask you, like when you give them a piece, it's usually just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, thanks. Here's your money. Have a nice one. They're not going to be like,
nobody asks us.
How many layers did you use? Like, did you use a square brush or a round brush? They don't give a shit. Like, just,
they don't know that. Care. Yeah. They don't even know. It's like, where'd you get your degree? Funny thing. But no, that is the only thing the only pushback I ever got was like, if you could do this in like something that took you like 15 minutes, what could you have done if I gave you like a week? Like, well, actually it's more like 45, but we're not going to split hairs here.
Or you just say, you know, it is going to take a week because I'm going to give it to you. You're going to give me feedback, and then we're going to do this rodeo.
Yeah, that's why I always overshoot. If I have control over the deadline, I'm going to overshoot.
Oh yeah.
And they make me come in 2 days early just to, you know, be cool. But I'm going to ignore it for the first week and a half. Well, not ignore it, but at least kick it around.
Deanna, we're chatting up a storm. We're not dragging this out by any means.
I was just about to say we're gonna hit the plug zone to find out where everybody can find you guys until next month. So I'm just gonna go back. I lost my list. Same order we did.
You find me in a hut in Acapulco.
What?
And
James, you get to talk about you and Anna.
Well, I can't pronounce this.
Tell it. And everybody that's watching, if it's on Facebook, it will be in the chat, all the links they're going to mention, and on YouTube, it will be underneath the video. All the links.
Yeah, so I changed mine. The Hitsuji is no longer working. I switched that over to something a little more functional and memorable, and that's the J. Rutherford Art at Instagram. Anna's got her AOI-RYU with her Tumblr, her Pinterest, and her DeviantArt, all under the same name.
Awesome. All right, Eric, what are you up to, and where can everybody find you?
So I've been doing a lot of watercolor sketches lately. Let's see. Just find me on Instagram, Facebook as eDangerWright, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Haley.
got the same Instagram, cyan_stash. And then I've got that Society 6 shop with some prints up. I also like recently ordered some tapestries off of it. Holy God, they look awesome. It is wild to see artwork that I've made on an iPad on like a 4-foot by 5-foot tapestry. Like, it's
Awesome.
I also recently, for all you youngins in this group, I see you, all of you, I got a TikTok. I bent in and I got a TikTok and started uploading. And I'm sorry, I'm on TikTok as postpartum puss. And so on TikTok, you're more than welcome.
So how did you come up with that name?
You can't make any more comments about short skirts if you're going to pull that.
Like we're talking about art processes. It's off the top of my head. And if I don't like it within 5 minutes, I'll throw it away. So postpartum puss just came to my brain. I was like, I'm in. It's great. Yeah, check me out on TikTok. I got 3 videos. And if you don't want to get on TikTok, I totally understand. So
I recently made the leap and I signed up, but I just watch. So I will look for that because I'm still wading through this stupid kids dancing. I need to get to the good stuff.
I don't, peruse TikTok. I'm using TikTok to admittedly, skeeviously get a following to bring on to like Twitch or another platform. I'm trying to collect everyone on TikTok and throw them somewhere else in a session. So
nice.
So essentially, you're using a box with a sandwich and a stick, right?
Surely.
I'll bring my cat into a video, every once in a while and get those views and then just throw them on over to Twitch.
Perfect. All right. Chet.
Hi.
What are you up to? Where can people find you?
Well, since I work about 15 hours a day on databases, I'm not up to much. So this was kind of a struggle, but we got through it. You can find me on Instagram under Chet Smith Art. And I do have a Facebook presence, but it's just for my concert photography. So I don't use it for art. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have a website, but I'm hardly ever on it. Hardly ever update it, but it's also Chet Smith Art. So keep it consistent.
The photography's great. I looked through that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a hobbyist photographer.
I did it for 10, 15 years, covering all the shows in Springfield. Kind of hit burnout level. And so, 400,000 photos later, here I am.
Nice.
And some therapy.
Well, and there's nothing to shoot right now, so it's a good.
You'd be surprised.
No, I mean concert wise.
He asked me to come out and shoot, and I'm like, I'm drawing now. I come out and draw your picture if that's nice.
There's a box of crayons. All right.
Nice. You see, Caitlin.
Yeah. I am currently working on my webcomic Moxie, which can be read over at moxiecomic.com. There's also a sign up for my monthly newsletter over there that you can see kind of like process shots and other art I'm working on throughout the month. I send that out at the end of the month. I also have a portfolio website, CaitlinBlaine.com, and I am most active on Instagram at Caitlin Blaine Art. And then sometimes on Twitter, Caitlin Blaine 7. But if you go to my portfolio site, all my links are there too. So,
Nate.
I got a library of links, I suppose, but I am Nate of Mammoth Press, graphic design and illustration. There's a mammothpressllc.com. It's a kind of an anchor site website. I don't really update it too much. Most people contact me through the social media stuff. I'm on Facebook, Mammoth Press LLC. I got my list over here. Instagram, it's Mammoth_Press_LLC, and then Twitter at Mammoth_Press. I'm pretty sure if you just put Mammoth Press in any of them, they'll pop up. I started a TikTok mostly for clips of the Twitch channel that I I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the Mammoth Multicade that's behind me, the vintage like arcade and retro console arcade. And I talk art, and also on YouTube at Mammoth Press on YouTube, where I'm gonna branch off with more art specific content and also some multicade content as well. I think that's I think that wraps up everything. Oh, and then there's Mammoth. Potbelly Mammoth is a comic series, a webcomic series. It's potbellymammoth.com. Season or volume 2 content is on Patreon at patreon.com/potbellymammoth.
I do really like the opportunity to both wear the shirt and have the poster. And
No, that wasn't really like entirely planned. It's just that this is actually stream merch. This is actually the Twitch. This is actually
I don't like being in a band and wearing your own shirt on stage.
I brought that up.
I'm just saying.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I was like, the rule was in a band, you don't wear your own shirt to your own show. But I was on stream and I said that. I was like, that's the rule. I could be breaking a rule. And everybody agreed. No, it's totally cool, man. In fact, hold on.
You're not going to steal us underwear, are you?
While I was sipping.
There you go.
Because I am that pathetic.
No.
But your sales will now skyrocket. Marketing.
Hope so. Like, hey, buy my stuff.
Someone click that.
Click my bells and buttons now.
All right, Daryl, what's new with you? What are you up to, and where can we find you?
I actually did post art this month. I started posting a Ninja Turtle series of portraits that I started before COVID and then lost all creativity during 2020. But I started posting those at on my Instagram, which is Ehrleben, EHRELEBEN. But if you Google my name or Nights In Studios, you'll find me. There's not a lot of clonches in the world. So
Perfect. All right, Gary, your turn.
ArtistGaryBedell.com. Artist Gary Bedell at Instagram, Facebook, same thing. You can go on my website and you can find my book, One. You can download my book, Thawed. It's 118-page art book, $5. You can grab one for $10. Same thing with Graveyard Slaughter. You should also visit the website, www.graveyardslaughter.com. And huge shout out to Dave Stanfield, again, Overlord Games, LLC. Escape the Dead coming soon. Some of my fellow clever Kaiju members down here have seen it. They know what's up, so I can't wait till it's revealed.
It was pretty good.
It is pretty dope. It's okay.
You're fired. No, joking.
I looked at it, I was like, I'd like to play the heck out of that game.
Okay. As for me, Playco Games. If you want a fun, family-friendly game, go to playcogames.com. We've got a Goofy Tea Party game that Gary drew some art for the expansion. All ages, fun, hilarious, simple to learn. We have a dinosaur game that's a little more advanced for a little bit older kids. And then Civicus 13 and up, which is a civilization-style game, plays in 30 minutes. Super quick. It even keeps my attention. I like it, and I don't play those games. I will not sit at a table for 5 hours. I don't have the attention span. But and for Visioncon, I am on the marketing team. We have had one meeting for virtual Visioncon. We unfortunately did have to announce there's no live con. It is on the top of the Facebook page. If you want to see the video, I'm announcing that. There are dates for next year, though. We are super hopeful for next year again. But virtual Visioncon this year, we've had one meeting. We're having another meeting this weekend. Last year, we threw it together in just like a couple weeks. I don't know. Zach pretty much did all the interviews live from his house, and we were all on Messenger just backing him up and trying to make things work. This year, we're going to try to be on site doing live stuff, maybe have a couple of different channels going. If anybody out there has an idea for a panel or a workshop or an interview or something, send them to Visioncon. Email Visioncon at visioncon. Is it org or net? I'm gonna type it real quick. I forget every time.
I thought it was.
Hey,
Lord.
Deanna, are those clever kaiju guys going to be there too?
The Kaiju guys better. I'm still waiting to talk to you about that. The Pin Clique will definitely be there. Maybe a drink and talk. We can arrange it.
I could do both of those things.
Yeah, I'm going to need a ride home.
I think we should do the whole weekend. Yeah, visioncon.net will get you to all our social media pages, the YouTube page where there's all kinds of interviews, spotlight interviews, live interviews, more episodes of the Pin Clique. First 5, the 6th one will be on there this weekend. And that will be the weekend of April 3rd through May 2nd. So shoot us your ideas, man. We want to make this awesome, but we are an all volunteer staff at Visioncon. So it's just us putting our time in because we love geeky stuff.
But I know you,
Oh, and big thank you to those guys too, like to VisionCon for letting us do this and put the show on their site and trusting my crazy ass to do this. And Deanna trusted me, and you guys all trusted me too, suckers. But no, thank you. No, all jokes aside, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. For real.
Oh man, when Zach said Carrie had this idea, and I'm like, I guess I can do that. I guess I could sit and watch awesome art all day. I would love to do that.
Well, there's almost 10 of us each month, so statistically, one of us is bound to get it right at least a little bit by accident, or with our powers combined.
Oh my gosh, you guys blow it out of the park.
I do.
Every time. I
want to give a shout out to Chad Thomas. You need to go. He's got his Kickstarter going on. You need to go get yourself one of these groovy hats.
Spectral Void.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. I got my hat coming.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I think all we have to do now is sign off and say we will see you next month, March 25th, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. And Gary, do you want to tell them what we're doing?
Next month is new gods. So we're looking for suggestions for gods. They could be like the god of food, the god of gambling, the god of pants, the god of stereo systems, the god of sound.
No. You make them cool. Come on.
Okay, not the god of pants, but you know, each of us are we're gonna pick the ones that get the most votes, and then each of us will be doing a different god.
Or goddess.
Or goddess, yes.
Or goddess.
I just say God. That's usually what I mean by God. It's like
it's usually like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
throw
most
it
of
out
them
there.
have it.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah, so we just want your suggestions, and we will see what you guys come up with.
I know it's unintentional, but it actually kind of works out because American Gods is on Stars if you're a Neil Gaiman nerd.
Oh,
and it's
it
the
is.
old
Yeah.
gods versus new gods. And so there's lots of nerd
for something original
in there. Yeah.
There you go. The Facebook event for next month is not up yet because I got busy, but it will be up very soon. So watch for that. Click interested or click going just so Facebook reminds you. And that's where we'll be asking for those suggestions. So we will be seeing you soon.
We want give it to us now or else. Come on.
Exactly.
A pen tap that doesn't click. I'm on it, Gary.
That's because my arm is here and the mic is way over here, so I gotta go like this.
Oh, I see.
I gotta use 2 pins.
All right, well, that's it for tonight's Pin Click. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Great night, everyone.
Bye.